Hey everybody, welcome to Outhouse Thoughts again. I know I did this just like less than a week ago, but it still feels like I've never actually haven't done this in a while. um, so I'm gonna I'm gonna do my best to stay positive because otherwise I'll just start crying. Um, but I wanted to in the first episode, I started out with saying that it was something that I honestly had never said out loud. I've never told anyone clearly if I never said it out loud. Um, in like 20 something years. I'm going to go back that route, but I mean this time it's only been 13 years. So I mean not as good, I guess. Um this one ties back a lot to the article I wrote, and I'm not really sure why I didn't put this in there. Like if I ever felt the need to turn that into a book, which I don't want to do because I hate writing. I'm not good at writing and it's just a lot of work, but you know, it's an idea. Then I definitely would add this in because it like I said, it ties in. Um, all right. So when I don't remember how old I was, and I don't feel like doing math, uh, but whatever 13 years ago, I guess, was my cousin had to go to rehab, and on a visiting day, we visited, and we went to one of their services. I mean, I'm not a fan of the fact that AA uses higher power as part of their steps, but it works for him. So it is what it is, but it was still a service. And part of that service was, people coming up front, my name is whatever, I'm an alcoholic, my name is whatever, I'm an addict. And, you tell a little story, whatever they do. One guy goes up there and he tells his story, talks about his steps of recovery, and the entire time he's talking, he's looking down, kind of like I do half the time, just sitting there talking. And at the end, he just looks up, looks right into the crowd, and he just says, "I love you all from the bottom of my heart, and I mean it." And I sat there, and it felt like I got slapped in the face. It's just like I I felt it. I He meant it. All of us, everyone sitting there, everyone who is going through what he was going through, everyone who had gone through what he went through, and everyone who was just there to support someone else who was going through all of that. And it kind of broke me a little bit. And there's just like, I I mean, I love specific people. I love my wife. Now I love my kids, and I have a few friends that I would say I love them, but this guy looked into a crowd, said, "I love you all." And like I can't put it into words what it did. It was just it was this feeling I can't even put into I using jealous is really the wrong word because of the setting, I guess. Like it's not fair to say I'm jealous of someone that had to go through those hard times that they did, but like that feeling of maybe putting themselves out there, like having being that vulnerable maybe to just like I honestly don't know, and that's part of the reason this situation A, I've never talked about it, B, I've never really tried to fully apply it to anything until, in a minute, um, and it was just in my entire life one of the strangest things I witnessed, and I'm insanely glad I did. So, for years, this has been in the back of my head, just thinking about this time of sitting there and listening to this guy. And I never really expected there to be an application of this to me, to be able to look out into a group and just feel that way and just be okay and be legitimately feel like you're surrounded by people you love and people that love you or at least understand you. And like I said in the beginning of this, I kind of wish I would have put this into my article because I think, while again, it has nothing to do with the situation this specific person went through, and the feelings are probably not exactly the same because of that, but like I stop and when I think about everything that the fantasy football community, at least on Twitter, and all of that that I am part of means to me, I can I mean, I practically did at the expo where I literally hugged every person I saw. Like, I feel that if it were Saturday night at the expo where every single person around was there in one place, if I stood up to the microphone and just said, "I love you all," and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, I think that would have been true. And that's disarming, at least. It's not something I ever expected to feel. It's not something I think I ever expected to confront. And I don't that's not a bad thing, I guess, right? I mean, at least to this point, it hasn't been taken advantage of. I hope it never does, but who the hell knows? And it means a lot. And I can't even point it to like specific things that people have done, specific things I have gone through. Because, like clearly you see from all, this show I do, if you follow me on Twitter and see some of the stuff I say, I've openly talked about my mental non well being. And of course, there are people that check in on me. There are people that I just talk to every day that I have these talks with. But I mean, like, even people that I talk to just about fantasy football and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. It's part of this community that makes me feel a bit at home. Not to say I don't in my house with my family. I always fucking feel the need to make it like it's a competition. Well, to try and explain that it's not one. Just because I love that group of people doesn't mean I don't love this group of people. Though I'm a little annoyed with my dog right now chewing up my kid's pop-up tent, but that is what that is. And I don't know. I again, I feel like this is a good thing. I'm not completely sure though. Well, no, I am sure it's a good thing because again, I don't know if there's necessarily a downside to it because I haven't found one yet. So as of now, it's a good thing. Um, but yeah, I don't really know if I have somewhere to go with this. Now that I'm sitting here punching it around in my head, maybe I will end up extending that article. Maybe I will try and write something a little longer. But who the hell knows? I don't really. That sounds like a lot of work. Um, but I guess at this point, if you're watching this, if you're listening, if you whatever I'm going through, whatever you're going through, I love you. I am here if you need me. I appreciate the shit out of all of you just for existing. And I don't know. I guess goodbye. I mean, not like goodbye, just bye for now. TTFN, I guess.